So in today's video, I'm going to talk you through the main energy points to focus on when trying to open up your microcosmic orbit. And then at the end, we're going to go into a guided practice to help you really sink your mind into these energy points, to begin to awaken them so that you can begin to circulate your energy and open up the microcosmic orbit. So this information comes from the system of gong. Now, you might have heard me talk about qigong on this channel before. And qi is basically life force energy. So qigong is qi skill, that's how it translates. And so that is cultivating skill with this life force energy. Now, gong is slightly different. This is a deeper system of personal transformation. And it translates to internal skill or internal alchemy. And what this does is it builds internal power, cultivates life force, and it allows us to start guiding our internal energy through the use of the breath, intention, mental focus, posture, and movement. So in this way, you can see how it parallels the system of tantra yoga. It's a lot about using the breath, using the posture, bringing your mind into focus in different parts of the body and awakening the consciousness there, awakening these different energy centers, and then being able to use our breath and our intention to circulate energy, to direct it to certain energy centers, to awaken certain qualities, and to basically cultivate an overall state of health, vitality, balance, and everything else. So we're going to look at opening the microcosmic orbit in this video. And a little bit of background information about the microcosmic orbit. So the microcosmic orbit is made up of two main channels, and that is the dumai, which is the yang channel, and that runs from the bottom of the perineum, up the back of the spine, towards the back of the skull, over the top of the head, and then finishes at the roof of the mouth. And the other channel is the yin channel, and this is the renmai. And that starts at the top of the mouth, flows down the front of the body, down the throat, down the chest, the abdomen, and finishes in the pelvic floor. So as you can see, when you connect these two energy channels, you create this circuit or this orbit. And this is going to allow you to be able to draw that hot yang energy up through the body and cool it down through the yin channel. And it's essentially going to help you to balance your energy, to balance the yin and yang channels in your body. It's going to help you cultivate energy and circulate energy to all the main organs, the main energy centers, and to the rest of the energy channels in the body. So this is the main channel that we want to begin to work with. Now, on this diagram, I've drawn it a little bit outside of the body. In my own personal experience, the way I feel it is more inside the body. But for the sake of this diagram, I've drawn it on the outside just so we can focus on the different energy points that I'm going to draw in. But when you're working with this microcosmic orbit and you're doing certain practices, I tend to perceive the energy as being about an inch inside of the body. So it's an internal process. So we're going to look at some of the main energy points now. Each of these energy points does have a specific Chinese name in the system of qigong and gong. But for now, I'm going to keep it simple and just do it in English. So let's start at the bottom where the two energy channels meet. And this is the perineum. So one of the most important points is just here. And this is located at the bottom of the pelvic floor. So this could be recognized as maybe the root chakra in the yogic traditions. The next point is around about here, and this is the sacrum. And this is a really important point to focus on and energize when doing the internal practice, because awakening the sacrum is actually what awakens the sexual pump, which allows us to start circulating our sexual energy, to begin the process of sexual transmutation, and to begin the process of awakening our body to our full sexual potential, for men to experience multiple orgasms without ejaculating. The way we do this is by being able to open up this sacrum and the sexual pump, which then allows the sexual energy to build up and to be diffused and to be circulated up through the spine. So the next point to focus on is just here at the base of the skull. And this is where the skull and the neck meets. So it's just that little dimple there in the back of the skull. And this is called the jade pillow. And again, this is a very powerful energy point to hold your focus in. And one thing to mention is there are actually more points along the body, but these have been the ones that I've found to be the most potent, to be the ones that are easiest to feel to start with. So as a beginner, these are really great ones to start focusing on. And eventually you'll be able to start connecting these points like a sort of dot to dot. But I find that these are the ones that are easiest to focus on at first. So the next one is at the crown of the head, just here. And again, this kind of relates to the crown chakra in the yogic tradition. The next one is at the brow line on the forehead. Again, could be the third eye in the yogic tradition. The next one is the throat, and that is located just in this pit of the throat here. The next one is the heart, and this is located just above the solar plexus in this little dip in the chest here. Then we go to the navel, which is sort of just located under the belly button in the lower abdomen, maybe 2 or 3 fingers below the belly button. And finally, the point just above the genitals at the base of the pubic bone. And again, this could be related to the sacral chakra in the yogic tradition. So as you can see, these energy points start to create this circuit of the microcosmic orbit. And like I said, there are more points, but these are the most potent ones to focus on. And as you start to bring your mind and your attention towards these points, they will begin to activate. And what you'll notice is you'll then be able to start actually sinking your mind and sinking your attention into that point. So at first it's quite difficult, and you might feel like you're just kind of projecting your mind from the brain sort of down into that point. And that's kind of how it started for me. It just felt like a mental projection. But after a while, it felt like I was actually able to sink my mind out of the head and into the rest of the body, and actually bring my full awareness into these points, as opposed to just being up in my head and mentally projecting down into the point. So as you practice with this, you'll begin to see a change in how it feels, in how you perceive the energy, in how you're able to settle your mind in these points of the body. But like in the tantric tradition, it's very important to be able to sync your mind and bring consciousness into other parts of the body. Because without consciousness there, we can't bring energy there, we can't circulate energy there, and we can't have mastery over our internal life force and our internal energy. So this is how we start to be able to master our internal energy and essentially build this power, build this life force, and awaken ourselves more fully, awaken our consciousness and awaken our latent potential. And like I said, this has massive benefits to your sexual fulfillment as well. When you learn to open up your microcosmic orbit, when you're engaging in sexual activity, you're able to send arousal and pleasure through this circuit. So you don't hit that build up past the point of no return. And this is what allows you to be able to circulate your sexual energy to again energize the different energy centers, to basically choose when you end sex. It becomes a choice. And by cultivating those skills, you're going to feel more confident both inside the bedroom and outside of the bedroom. You're going to feel more energized and you're going to feel more fulfilled in life. So with that being said, let's change location and we're going to the guided practice. Okay, welcome back. So start by finding a comfortable position, whether you're sitting on a chair or whether you're sitting on the floor, on a mat, on a pillow, wherever is most comfortable. But essentially you want to have your spine straight and your posture kind of upright but relaxed. So move into that position now, pause the video if you need to. And now we're just going to close the eyes because this is an internal martial art. This is an internal process. So what we want to be able to do is bring our attention to our internal state, to our internal landscape. So start with a few deep breaths. And as you exhale, just really let go. Try and create a sinking feeling within your body. Letting go of any tension you're holding on to, both mentally and physically. Just feel a subtle expansion of your being. As you relax into this meditation. Just feel your arms becoming heavy, and everything sinking down out of the mind and into the body. Releasing any tension in the face, in the eyebrows, the jaw. Letting the shoulders drop down. And releasing any tension in the belly. And to begin the practice, we're going to hold our mind in the belly, in the lower abdomen. And this is the location of the lower dantian, or the power center of our being. And this is the first point we're going to focus on in the practice. So just notice your belly rising up and down. And try and hold your awareness at that point, just inside the lower belly, about 3 fingers below the belly button. You can watch the breath coming in and out. And just imagine breathing into that point. And by holding our awareness here, we're starting to build energy. Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. And as we move to the next point, we're just going to use the breath to draw our attention from the point in the lower belly to the next point, which is located at the base of the genitals, just on the pubic bone. So with an inhale, just draw your mind from the lower belly to the point at the base of the genitals. And now holding your attention in this new point. And this will take some practice if you've never meditated before. It helps to have a meditation practice or a breathwork practice to focus your mind. But if the mind's busy and wandering off, just remind yourself to bring your attention back to the energy point. And just breathing into that point. And as we move to the next point, again, using your intention to draw your mind from the point at the base of the genitals to the point in the perineum. With the inhale, moving your attention now. So now we're focusing at the root. And as you practice this more, you'll be able to start anchoring your mind into these points. At first it might be a bit difficult, but this is a practice that really builds over time. And over time you might start to feel some tingling or some buzzing as these points start to awaken. But the key is just to hold your mind in this area of the body. And your body's intelligence will do the rest. So the next point is the sacrum. So drawing our attention now from the perineum up through the tailbone and into the sacrum. It's just in the lower region of the back. And just imagine breathing into this area. And as you're breathing, just acknowledging that you're not just breathing oxygen, but you're actually breathing life force energy. And using your mind, you can direct this to certain points in the body. So as you breathe into the sacrum, just imagine pulling more life force, more energy to this point. You might feel some heat building up, some tingling. And by doing this, we're starting to awaken the sexual pump, which allows the energies to be pumped up through the spine. Now, with one big breath, we're going to move up to the next point, which is the jade pillow, located just in the pit where the neck and head meet. So breathing up, just imagine yourself drawing up energy from the spine, from the sacrum up to the base of the skull. And just holding your awareness now in the jade pillow. And again, using your intention to breathe into this point, directing your attention and your life force. And don't forget to keep the body completely relaxed. Release any tension if you notice any tension building up in the muscles. And just keeping your focus at this point at the base of the skull. And as we move to the next point, we're going to draw our attention using the breath from the base of the skull to the crown of the head, connecting those 2 points, and holding your focus at the crown. Feel yourself starting to begin opening up. And here you can visualize a lotus flower beginning to blossom as the crown opens up. Mind, body, and energy are closely related. So as you begin to visualize this process in your mind, you actually be able to begin affecting change on the physical and energetic level. Now with an exhale, as we breathe out, we're just going to sink our attention down from the crown to the center of the forehead. Just focusing on the point between the two eyes. And here you might feel like you're going slightly cross-eyed. But just make sure your eyes and your eyelids are completely relaxed. You might even have a little sliver of light coming through the bottom of your eyelids. And just breathing into this point, holding your focus. And here you can visualize your third eye beginning to illuminate. And again, this is going to take consistent practice to really start to feel these energy centers awaken as you train your attention and your focus, as you learn to sync your mind and awareness into different parts of the body. The practice becomes more and more powerful, more and more tangible, as you be able to perceive more. And again, with an exhale, just sinking our attention down from the forehead to the pit of the throat. Just like a waterfall, releasing, sinking the attention down. And breathing into the center in the throat. And just imagine drawing life force from the field around you into this energy point. And again, we're going to use our mind to drag our awareness down from the throat into the pit of the chest. Using the breath to help the movement of the mind. Now just breathing into the heart. And here feel yourself expanding. And just perceive energy building up in this energy center. Really trying to hold your mind and hold your focus here. And coming to the final energy point, we're going to sink our awareness down from the chest into the lower abdomen where we began. And just holding our attention in the lower dantian, the power center. Building and storing energy. You might perceive a golden orb of energy in the lower belly, or a roaring fire, whatever your mind calls to you. Just imagine this energy accumulating here in the lower belly. And finally, to conclude the practice, we're just going to use our breath and our intention to circulate our energy through the microcosmic orbit. And we're going to aid in this by gently squeezing the pelvic floor, which is the muscle you would contract if you were trying to hold in gas. So as we breathe in, we're going to visualize drawing energy up the spine from the perineum as we squeeze the pelvic floor, breathing up to the crown of the head. And as we exhale, we just imagine energy flowing down the front of the body like a waterfall, releasing any tension as we go. And we'll just do a few rounds of this. So breathing up the spine, holding your awareness at the crown, and letting that energy flow down the front of the body, down into the lower belly. And again, gently squeezing the pelvic floor as you inhale, drawing it up to the crown, releasing it down the front of the body, through the throat, through the chest, to the lower belly. And we just do this for a few more rounds. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and as you do this, just imagine the circuit of the microcosmic orbit opening up. And as you squeeze the pelvic floor, you're gently engaging that sacral pump, which is what's going to allow the energy to be pumped up the spine. And one more. And as you return to this practice, when doing this microcosmic orbit breath, just imagine connecting those energy points that we focused on during the practice. And to end the session, just holding your awareness in the lower belly. feeling grounded, feeling energized, feeling centered. And with that, that concludes the practice. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Like I said, this practice builds up over time, so return to this video daily or as often as you can to really gain the most benefits. And over time, these energy points are going to awaken more and more, which will allow you to be able to really start feeling your internal energy and directing it with your mind and your breath. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos on self-mastery, energy cultivation and personal transformation. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.